the weird thing with us, I don't know if this is everywhere, but Texas, everybody wants to get married outdoors. So if you have your ceremony outdoor, you can have 1,000 people out there. It doesn't matter. There's no capacity for outside.
Hey there, happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. I don't know where exactly you're joining us from, but right now in New York, it's very warm and it's wonderful. So no complaining, of course, but it's definitely warmer. So both good and a little bit just a little warm. Hey there, Anna Wood Bridal. Nice to see you again. We're gonna have Melissa. There she is.
Hello.
Southern Social Texas joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's so funny. I was just saying how warm it is here now, and it's like a huge adjustment, obviously, because it was like freezing before. Now I'm like, you're the first for everything. You're opening up first. You got weather first. You guys are like pros at warm weather, anyways. So.
Oh, we're masters at it. We all know how to do this.
I love it. I love it.
We've actually had a pretty calm spring. It's been pretty cool. It's not as hot as what it typically is. So I'm taking it.
I know it's kind of weird. I think, I'm definitely not mad about that. And I think it's helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The warmer weather, like, get me outside.
Yeah, definitely.
Harder to be inside. So now, are you guys totally open, like 1,000,000%, or
no? It's still slowly. So like restaurants, I think, are at 50% now, but weddings are still 25%. So, which is still pretty good for a lot of these venues. They're huge. So, if their capacity is 300, they can get, 125 or so in there. So it's slowly, but a lot of us are anxious to get back out there and get back to normal or the new normal.
No, absolutely. And so now with a venue that's doing 25% capacity, I'm assuming also social distancing or
it is. Yeah. So venues, so the weird thing with us, I don't know if this is everywhere, but Texas, everybody wants to get married outdoors. So if you have your ceremony outdoor, you can have 1,000 people out there. It doesn't matter. There's no capacity for outside. The inside venue is the 25%.
Interesting.
So, but I don't think it's a problem for anybody. I mean, I think everybody, the vendors that I have talked to that are, if they're canceling or rescheduling their clients, they're still within that 25, like their 25% range. So the trend with weddings is they're going down anyway. They're doing smaller, intimate weddings. So some of these guest or brides only had 150 people guest list anyway. So either they could still have their entire guest list there, or minus people, and still be able to get everybody in.
Right.
Inside the venues, I think venues have to have max of 6 chairs per table. So there's only 6, and then they have to keep them, within a certain distance, 6 foot of distance spread out. And of course it's Texas, everything's bigger in Texas. So most of our venues all have the room that they can make all of that happen.
That's awesome. I see Walt's comment. He's like, hey, Melissa, way to work that.
Oh, yay. Walter's awesome.
So that's amazing first. But so like for the outdoor ceremony, there's no cap. So is that with 6 feet, like social distancing, or how are they?
Yeah, so it's still like what they're doing with churches. So you still have to social distance apart, and then so like the seating would be like a row, and they're 6 feet apart. Then you skip a row, and then the row behind them, you could be 6 feet apart. Then you skip a row, and so I think a lot of these the venues are putting the chairs out there, but they're skipping that the extra row and taking those apart, so everything's all spread out and equally.
But is the row of chairs, is that row like 6 feet from like chair to that chair?
I'm not sure exactly. I haven't seen any pictures yet.
You know what
So I'm hearing, you know, from the venues that that's what they're doing, but I haven't seen pictures. So I'm curious to see once this all takes place and there's weddings going on, what this looks like afterwards.
Yeah.
Are there going to be photos of them of guest social distancing? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But I know our venues and vendors are doing everything they can to, you know, so nobody's liable for anything. So.
Right. So are the venues requiring everyone wearing masks?
I think what they're doing is allowing the couple to decide that for themselves. So I know a lot of our venues are going, they've, I'm very, very proud and impressed of the vendors and the venues here in Dallas Fort Worth. They've really stepped up and gone above and beyond. I'm kind of impressed when I asked our venues what they were doing, the things that they're going through and doing to, most of them are already doing a lot of the sanitation anyway.
Right.
But they're providing the hand sanitizers on the walls. So they're going to provide that. Several of ours are doing the frogging or the fogging things.
Oh.
So after an event, they're going to fog everything and let it set. And so then that way it helps disinfect. Some of them are going to go ahead and supply the masks. And if their guests want to use them, I think that's going to be, masks are just recommended, they're not required. So I think that's just going to be a case by case or event by event, what they're going to do with that.
Is that for the whole state of Texas, or is that masks are?
I think it's the whole state, and I think the way we're doing it is each county. So if there's counties that have less than a certain percentage of COVID cases, then each county can decide what they want to do. And
Okay.
then you have your statewide, you know, the statewide is your, you know, weddings are only at 25% right now.
Okay.
But for other things, I think it's just up to each county. But I mean, I think we're all pretty much doing the same thing.
Okay. And what if you're the vendors? I know, like, probably one of the most, you know, concerned groups vendors, you know, is beauty category. I see more than contactless hair and makeup. What have you been hearing, like, vendors have high services in terms of what they're themselves and their.
Okay, sorry, you're cutting out a lot right there. So I think I kind of got the idea. You're just kind of wanting to know what other vendors are kind of doing to prepare themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of our planners, the biggest concern I've seen, what people are concerned about are liability and waivers. So like our planners and photographers, some are requesting their clients sign waivers, saying that if y'all aren't wearing masks or if there's a bunch of people and I'm uncomfortable, I can leave. Or is it, you know, that the client is making the vendor sign waivers saying, you know, it is what it is. You're going to be here no matter what. And, you know, I think it's all just varies on the couple.
Right.
It's kind of a 50-50. I have a lot of our planners that are just going to go on and do what they do. And then some of them are going to require their clients to sign waivers saying, if I'm doing this wedding, that if somebody gets sick, it's not on me, which
Right.
I think is smart. Will it hold up in court? I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people have talked to many attorneys, but I don't see that anybody can pinpoint exactly where they, you know, contracted it or anything. So regarding all the contracts, I think the majority of my vendors are keeping their contracts the same. A lot of them haven't changed. They might add in, you know, a pandemic or, you know, COVID clause to their contracts just to kind of, you know, keep them safe from that. But a lot of them already had the force majeure already, you know, in their contracts. So contracts typically aren't changing around here other than just a couple of extra wording inside. And then along with the, you know, rescheduling and, you know, refunds, those are pretty much all staying the same. I think everybody's being very flexible with their clients if they're having to reschedule or move their dates or anything. But yeah, I think it's going pretty good here.
That's good. So are you guys seeing a lot of brides rescheduling still, or are they, kind of going before?
I think we're at a standstill now. So I think everybody from the spring has already rescheduled to this fall. And I think that's what most vendors are saying. As long as it's within a 6 to 9 month period or in the calendar year, they're allowing their couples to reschedule. And they're being very flexible. And I think most of the vendors are pretty good with not having a lot of contract or conflicts in the rescheduling, and they're not charging fees.
Right.
So I think you have a good handful of that have rescheduled. Then you have a good handful that are going along with as planned, and then they're just making the extra precautions or taking the extra precautions that they need to move forward.
I see Morris made a comment. He says, "Look, appreciate the information. Thanks, Morris."
Yay!
That's what we're here for. People to help. I mean, I think it's one of those things. We're in an industry where it's similar across the board, no matter where you're getting there. The same concerns, same issues, and there's not a lot of guidance. A lot of states are just like, I don't know, figure it out, or they say you have to wear masks, or we're only at this capacity, or can't, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we do this out of love. We love our couples, but we don't want to get anyone sick. We want to, contract anything that, we certainly don't want to either. And so making sure that we can be safe, I think, is so important. So hearing from other vendors from all over, I think is really, Ashley said that she's having the audio. Hold on one second.
Move and see if this helps.
I don't know. I think that I feel like I sometimes at all.
Is that better?
Let us know in the comments.
Okay.
I know it's one of those things like technology. It's like sometimes it's like, oh, it's my best friend, and other times it's like,
yeah,
you're still having, you're really having problems with the audio.
Okay. Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Melissa, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, Walter's saying thumbs up. Is this better, guys?
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. I think it's Leslie. Says good. Okay. Good. Okay.
All right.
Good. You guys can always listen to the replay. We're going to post it in our IGTV post so you guys can listen, hopefully find what you missed.
Yes.
But I think one of the things, like I was saying, it's important to make sure that, we are all together. So really being able to help each other however we can and seeing what's working, what's not. That's the whole point.
Right.
So, I mean, in terms of like what other vendors, oh good, it's coming through. In terms of other vendors, like what are kind of, doing differently, if anything?
So I'm hearing from I think the biggest concern is going to be your caterers and bartenders. I think those are going to be, along with venues, they're going to be the ones that have to really change a lot. Are we going to start seeing buffets disappear and it's going to be plated meals during the reception? But I think a lot of our bartenders and caterers are, they're wearing masks, they're wearing gloves. I think they're going to end up staffing more during the event. So if it is a buffet style wedding, that they have an attendant for each serving. So then that way it's less hands on utensils and everything. Of course, all the, condiments are going to be taken away from tables. So I know some of our bartenders, they're all their fruits, they're not going to be serving really any fruits or anything in the glasses. It's all disposable. They're going to pour everything, and it's going to be by request. So they might have a cocktail menu out, this is what we're serving, and then they're just going to have to ask for it, and then they'll serve it. I know some of them are trying not to even use the shaker to make cocktails. They prefer to either to have everything pre-made or just bottles or something that way it's easier. And then they're going to put the straw in the, you know, glass for them. So I think they're going to be the ones that hit hard because of all the different things that they're going to have to do to prepare.
Right.
So,
right. I mean, I was talking with someone who's a hair and makeup artist before, and she was saying for her, you know, it's making sure that they can still operate, but
oh yeah,
they can put you know, you can put a mask on yourself and wear a face shield, but the person, like if you're doing their makeup, they're not wearing a mask.
right.
You're like up close to their face. So
Right.
just kind of the nervousness of like, it's like the one thing that you should not be doing is being that close to anyone.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, if you can see, so I had my eyebrows done yesterday. That is why my eyebrows are like crazy today. But I wore a mask when I went and got them done, and she had a mask. Now, I wasn't getting my makeup done, but I think as long as the, you know, the stylist, if they're wearing masks, and they're that close up, at least that helps, you know, and then, you know, having to take temperatures beforehand. So it's hard. It's not easy, and nobody wants to do it, but, you know, I think there's safe ways that you can get around, you know, making sure that you're taken care of.
right, right. And in terms of kind of the, you know, not for you guys, so not like tons of summer, but did any of the spring push summer because they were waiting for kind of figuring it out by then?
Okay, you cut out on me on that one, so I did not hear that question.
I was wondering if any, I know that summer normally is not a wedding season time for you guys because it's
No.
so, did any of the spring, have you heard of any spring couple pushing to summer, or did they all just kind of like just scrap?
I think the summer, I think they're going to push towards this summer. The only thing with this summer is, so June, it's basically June 1st. And I think some of these, you know, March, April weddings might have pushed to June or July, thinking that everything was going to be okay. I still think June and July is going to be iffy for a lot of people. So I think most people are going to do August. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of August, September, October. But with this being so close, I think the majority of couples waited to the fall to push weddings back here. It's just, I mean, I got married in July, and I would never do it again, and never wish anybody to do it unless you're all inside. So in Texas, I think most people want the fall anyway. So I think there's going to be the summer, there's going to be weddings just because they want to get married, and, you know, this is the time to do it. But I think the biggest hit's still going to be the fall.
Right, right. There is Samantha Agostino. She does makeup. She says she put a full brush set for each person that she'll service. Cross-contamination is definitely a concern. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, you know, using for makeup artists, especially using disposables when you can, having a separate set, like you're not double dipping at all. There's no, like, it's really about being, you know, okay, if this could potentially have any life,
right?
What are you going to do? Yeah, definitely. You know, when it comes to catering and figuring out what they're going to do, I mean, have you heard, are they passing the costs on to the couples, or is that something they're just eat up themselves?
I haven't really heard a lot what, you know, my beauty artists or anybody is doing on that end. I think a lot of them they're more timid and nervous to go out because they are so close to everyone. So I really don't have a lot of information on what exactly they're doing.
For, you know, for venues, if they're passing along any of the costs, the added employee costs, if they have to have more people there.
I don't think anybody is adding any extra cost on. Yeah, I know our venues are definitely not doing that. Their main concern is making sure that the couple is happy. So right. I have not heard anybody trying to add on extra in any category yet. I think everybody is just trying to do their best to keep the wedding without losing it.
Right.
and being flexible and helping. So, but when it comes to beauty artists, since there are so many different things, I can see, I wouldn't be surprised if they add on extra costs for that.
Okay.
And I know nobody else is adding on anything extra.
Okay. And then in terms of, like, I guess just how people are in general, what's the general consensus about like being open for business and like not being quarantined?
Okay. So that is a tough one, because I think it's a good 50-50 split of, there's a lot of people that are just like me, that I'm just anxious to get out there and work. And there's a lot that are just, nope, this isn't over. I don't want to go out yet. I think more people are really wanting to get back out there. It's just how to do it and how to make it safe. We're hosting our first vendor social on Tuesday, and I'm a little nervous about it, other than the fact, that are people going to show up? But I think a lot of people do want to get out there. But, even with our vendor socials, we're going to social distance, and I'll have gloves and hand sanitizers available for everyone. I have masks. And so, but I think a lot of us are just ready to get back to work.
Yeah. Now, has anyone talked about what kind of plan B is for safe?
I think everybody's just gonna kind of wait. I think everybody pretty much, like, we've been to the first one. We already feel like we're set. Our contracts are good. We know what to do now. And I think everybody's just kind of like, all right, we'll just figure it out as we go. I think I've looked into different things, and I know, and it's just like with schools. I have a lot of teacher friends, and they're like, we have 6 different options for how we're going to start school next year. And so I think that's a lot with businesses. Maybe we don't need to have 6 options, but I think everybody is kind of writing their little plans down. Okay, if we have to reschedule and move everybody, what is that going to look like for next year? So I think we're thinking about it, but if they're like me, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not really thinking about it. I'm ready for normal. I'm ready to get back out there.
Oh my God. Funny. So in terms of kind of what you were doing in quarantine, what did you love about it? What did you hate about it?
So I actually loved getting to spend more time with my kids. So I'm lucky, mine are a little older, so I don't have the little ones. I feel sorry for you with the little ones. But mine are 13 and 11. So watching movies, I really got to spend a little quality time with them. And then my husband was working from home, and it was kind of fun that we would, check in on each other and be like, hey, this is kind of nice. We're all here. We didn't fight. I drank a lot. I became a crafter at making cocktails. Watch out, bartenders. But I enjoyed it. I'm an extrovert, so I just need people. But I think this couple of months kind of brought me back down and said, you know what, this was me time, and it was good to kind of just relax. So I took it as a blessing, but I'm ready to get back out.
That's good. That's good. And what did you find to be the most kind of frustrating part of being in quarantine?
Just not seeing people. To me, I need seeing people. It just feeds me, and it makes me feel like I'm whole. But I don't know. I really just enjoyed all of it. I can't complain too much. I didn't spend a lot of gas money. My mileage on my car was down. I had more good things to say than bad.
I love it. That's good. And now, one of the things we're kind of asking about with the extra time, not having one, maybe right now in 2020, at least this first part, what have you guys been hearing, like failed shoots? Are people itching to get back and do something creative? Talking about it?
Yeah, I think they're starting the ones so for the magazine that was planned to start, for this next issue. So we pushed this issue back until December. So we've just kind of moved things. So I think everything that was planned to go in for the summer one is just going to be, just pushed back, and everybody's starting to reschedule with their shoots. But I think even then they're more excited about doing that than real weddings, because we can control the environment without the guests and the extras there. So I'm really excited to see what everybody kind of comes up with. I'm excited to see what, this next issue's real weddings are going to look like, to see the micro weddings, and are we going to have a lot of photos with the brides and grooms wearing masks, and what does this really look like as a collective. So
Right. No, absolutely. I see Walter said that the Zoom get-togethers have been fun and creative.
oh yeah, yes, we have done Zoom socials with our vendors, and it's been fun.
I love it. I love it. I think it's neat, because I mean, there's a lot of things that normally had opportunities to do that they've got to do.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of our vendors, everybody's gotten creative during this time. So a lot of our vendors have come up with new products or services or different things that maybe they didn't have time to do before, that they got to put together. And now that they're, we've all had to get creative during this time. So other ways to make money. So it's been fun to see what all the new and exciting things are going to come out of it. And I think there's going to be some really amazing things and different. I've already heard, I'm not going to spill the beans on anybody, but I've heard a lot of different ideas going around in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of what vendors are going to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's genius. It's such a great idea. So I'm excited to see all of that kind of come to life.
That's so cool. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you could join us and tell us all.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you for having me.
Is it from the future for
Yeah.
that aren't like 100% open yet?
Yes.
That's so good. Any last kind of thoughts to everyone? Encouragement?
I just get back out there. Don't be scared. Be safe. Take precautions. But we've got to make this work, and we can all do it together.
Awesome. Yay. Melissa, thank you again. And I can't wait for us to get back down to Texas and do another Bridal Master experience.
Yes, we can't wait.
And have everyone there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan.
Yes. All right. Have a great night.
Bye.